Hi, Meghan Hammond, and as many of you know, we have a competitive theater program here at North. However, many don't know much about it, so I talked to some actors and actresses for some more information.
Okay, so the tournaments are usually Friday and Saturday, so we'll leave school early around like 1:30 on a Friday, and then we go and if you're in competitive theater, then you do your first two prelims, which are like 3:30 and 5, and so you just go and you perform for 10 minutes. And then for debaters, they stay a little longer and they do their 2 rounds of debate afterwards. And then we have this thing called like sems and finals. So if you break to sems, that means that you did well enough in your first 2 rounds. So then you go back Saturday. And we get here usually at like 6:15 in the morning. And then we drive to the school on a bus and we are there all day for our sems round, finals round, and then the debaters have all their stuff going on. You bond with your team on a different level when you're not just in your classroom, like getting to go, like this weekend we went to Nebraska, and so it's like you're having those experiences with people at like midnight that you wouldn't get on like any other team.
The hardest part about competitive theater is probably memorization and cutting pieces down, because I mean, you just have to keep working at it. It's not something that you can just pick up easily. You just have to keep repeating your piece and working on it, and that's probably the hardest thing.
There are a lot actually. There's DI, there's HI, duo, poetry, prose, POI, there's duet, there's storytelling, then there's a bunch of random ones that you may find at certain tournaments, but just a little rundown of each one. DI is dramatic interpretation. That's the one where it's like super depressing and sad. Then there's HI, which is humorous interpretation. That's supposed to be funny. It calls for like a lot of characters, all to be portrayed by one person. Same for DI, it's all just one person. And then there's duo and duet. Duo and duet, it's done by 2 people. And then there's POI, which is where you take an argument that you can find out in the world, and then you take a bunch of pieces of literature and articles to support your argument with all those pieces of evidence. It's kind of like a big ELA class. Poetry is poetry, anything in verse, no Dr. Seuss stuff though. Prose is anything out of like a novel, I guess. So anything in like these bookcases you could use. Storytelling is usually children's stories.